What's happening, everybody? It's Tuesday night. Welcome. You know what time that is? Chat with the Muskrat and Creole. Now, as you can see, it's just Creole tonight. Roger is working. He may be able to drop in later. He may not, but hey, he's doing his thing. So I told him we would just fly solo tonight. We're gonna talk about some cool stuff tonight. I believe we're gonna try to continue our conversation about the cold water catfish, and just try to dial in some more details on how to go after them and how to catch them, guys. So, first thing we go do, we go say to everybody in chat. First one I see, Mr. Downtown Erdy Brown. What's going on, Erdy? Hope you're doing better, brother. I really hope you're doing better. I see Avid is in the house. Miss Chrissy, I hope you're also doing better as well, Miss Chrissy. See Mr. Ronnie Oakley in the house. Mr. Jason Lamb. Let's see. I see Sampy. Sampy's in the house. What's going on, Sampy? Good to have you in here, brother. Mr. Jimmy Geiger in the house. Catfishing Fresno. What's going on, man? My boy Brian, Big Range Catfishing. Just got in that new PB the other day. Welcome, Brian. Congratulations again, brother. Let's see. Buckeye Catfishing. I see Stonefly 71. What's going on, man? Got a good crowd already in the house. Brian B. What's happening, Brian? One of my Triple City brothers. Good to have you in the house, Brian. 922 Crappie Barbecue. What's going on, man? Chad, the man, the myth, the legend himself. What's going on, Chad? Welcome. Catfish Viking. One of my River Rat brothers, Jerry. What's going on, Jerry? Good to have you in the house, brother. Let's see, Mr. Harold Bolton, I see in the house. Let's see, who else? Mr. Tommy. Mr. Tommy with Mental Dunkers. What's going on, Mr. Tommy? War Pig Catfishing. What's going on, my friend? Glad you could join us. Cold Creek Catfishing. Sean T. My brother, Sean T. Yep, that's right, brother. I think we're going to have another little rough ride with the weather tonight. I've been kind of watching on radar, and I think it's going to pass a little north of us. I think it's going to rain at work, which means possibly a couple more days off. So, I'm not complaining too much. I could always use a few more days off. Mike G. Bumping Mike himself. Welcome, Mike. What's happening? El Gato. What is going on, Chris? Good to have you in the house, brother. And I know Action Jackson ain't very far away. Good to have y'all in the house. Susquehanna Stan. Let's see. Just going to Mr. Paul Boyd's in the house. Bobcat. Another one of our bumping brothers. What's going on, Bobcat? And I think that might be fishing with the squirrel. Mr. Dave Funk. Almost missed y'all. LG Bass. What's going on, brother? Good to have you in the house. Man, the names are still pouring in. I love it. Eric. Super Smurf Eric Fishing. What's going on, man? Good to see you. Let's see. Trying to get caught up. Every time I get caught up, it skips on me again. More people in the house. I like that, though. I like that. That means a big crowd. Okay, so that catches us up with everybody for now. I'll holler at everybody as they come in. So, like we've been discussing, cold water catfish. Now, I will say this. Without Roger on screen tonight, I don't fish lakes. You know, y'all that know me, I'm strictly a river fisherman. River heavy current, you know, that's the patterns that I know. That's the fish I normally target. So anything I'm going to suggest, anything I'm going to talk about, of course, is going to come from a river fishing standpoint in current, you know, things I've noticed over the past couple of years, you know, things like that. Resting in bed. Well, take it easy, Ernie. Don't get all nervous. You know, we got you covered. Keith Dockery, Kevin Walters, what's going on, guys? Yeah, it's I've been talking to a lot of people lately about the cold water fish. You know, what are the fish doing? What are the fish not doing? Things like that. I know here for me, my water temperatures are mid to low 50s right now, and I'm sure they're just going to keep on dropping. For me, right now with the water temperatures, despite what the outside temperatures are, it's like 78 degrees outside of my house right now before this rain hits. It is absolutely crazy what the weather's been doing. But water temperature wise, I'm in that stage right now. Miss Paula Smith, the legend herself. What's happening, Miss Paula? Good to have you in the chat. I'm at the stage right now where I am switching the type of bait that I'm using. I'm kind of getting away from using the slicker, which is skipjack. As much as I love using it, it's more of a shad time of year for me. Richard, what's going on, brother? Well, it just makes me look smart. I ain't gonna lie. It just makes me look smart. I just been putting my contacts back in. That's all. So yeah, y'all get to see this. Yeah, that's the not fun kind of tornado right there, bud. Yep, tornadoes are never a fun thing, man. Yep, some of that weather's heading our way, so we'll watch out for it. But like I said, this time of year, I'm switching my baits. I find for me that it is the fish just hit the shad more than they do the slicker. For me, this time of year usually lasts 2-3 months, something like that. Usually by about March or so, things start switching back for me. And I'm gonna say that my theory anyway is that of course everybody knows in cold weather the shad tend to really, really gather up tight to each other, really school tight. That makes, and in deeper water, that makes them easier targets for these big catfish. And that is my theory as to why, for me, they start switching to this shad, because that's what they're primarily feeding on. I believe that's what I believe anyway. Donovan's fishing and hunting, slept through it all. Hey, ain't nothing wrong with it. I like bad weather. It makes me sleep good too. But welcome, brother. I appreciate it. So just right there, switching the type of bait I use. That's one change that's always made. Zach, what's going on, Zach? I got one third of the River Warriors. I got 1/3. I'm still waiting on at least another one. So that's change number one that has to be made for me right about this time of year. Now, do I downsize my baits in winter? A little. I don't downsize much. I still throw what probably a lot of people would call a pretty decent sized bait during the winter. I'm still, probably throwing something the size of a credit card, something like that. Because I'm still after big fish. And a big fish will still eat a big bait when it's cold. We've proven it before. Now, will they eat a small bait? Absolutely, they will. Justin, what's going on, bro? Good to have you in the house. Will a big fish eat a small bait? Heck, they'll eat it year round. Yes, they will. But especially for me during the cold water, small fish can irritate you as it is. The little dink taps and all this other stuff. I find that gets a lot more during the winter. They really don't want to commit to the baits. They really just start, they'll nip at it and pull, nip at it, pull. They don't want to really take the rod down, something like that. So I'm still looking to eliminate those smaller fish, and I think during the winter, especially, those small fish just aren't going to mess with a decent sized piece of bait. Now, I will say this. I don't want my piece of bait hanging way off on my hook. I do not. I hook my baits a little differently during the winter. And I change the shape of my baits during the winter. See, that's a big, big, big thing. And you see that, and this is something I know Chris has really, really spoken a lot about this. And he actually goes bigger when the water hits in the 40s for the same reason, to keep the dinks off. Because even more so, they don't want to commit. You want a fish that's going to commit to that bait. The bite is slow enough as it is. That's my theory for not downsizing my baits. Now, normally, and I'm going to use this as an example, there's just a random like setup stickers that I got with something I bought. But this is a pretty good chunk size of bait right here. Okay, this is probably, I don't know, 2.5 by 4 inches, maybe 3 by 5, something. It's pretty big. And a lot of times what I'm going to do, I'm just going to hook it right in the end right here and let all that hang off the back of the hook. Okay. This is my normal 9 months out of the year. This is how I'm hooking bait, just like this. Triple city circle hook, by the way, 10-aught. And I do not downsize my hooks during the winter either. I'm still using my big 10-aught hooks. But this is me most of the year. Now, I don't want all of this hanging behind my hook, because that means they could possibly bite it and not get it and not get that hook. That's not good. That's not good at all. See, we don't want that. Depending on current, depending on what's going on, I may take this bait and hook it this way, as to not leave this nearly as big of a profile, okay, behind, so they're more likely to get the hook. Now, I may take this, cut this bait in half, okay, that way I can make a really, tore it right there, that's not good. That way I can make a smaller bait that doesn't stick out from the hook nearly as much. That's what I'm after. I'm not worried about the size here. I'm worried about what's sticking out behind the shank of that hook. Now, Chris also brings up another very, very good point, something that we were going to talk about here in just a minute, is a stinger rig, or as a lot of us call it, a double hook rig. Putting another hook on that big piece of bait further back, that is going to help you a lot with those fish that really don't want to take the bait in fully. You can still get a hook in them that way when they want to short hit those baits. And as you can see, it did not take long. Took 12 minutes to be beaming live for my wife to start trolling me in chat. So, yeah, thank you for that. I need to quit telling her when I'm doing the show by myself. I really need to quit doing that, because it would prevent just such a situation like we got going on right now. What are you gonna do? You know, she's in the next room laughing about it. That's just how it is. So like I said, the size of the baits, the shape of the baits is going to change. Let me not say the size, the shape of bait that I'm cutting is going to same. I don't want a bunch sticking up behind that hook. You know, it's just not. I'm going to miss fish that way. I'm going to have fish that are going to run off with the bait, pull the rod down, and then boom, pop right back up. Nothing on the end. You know, we definitely don't want that. Daryl, what's going on, brother? Good to have you in the house. Now, wintertime also changes where I look for fish. You know, in my area, most of the time, Jimmy Roger is at work tonight. Unfortunately, he is still at work. He said he was going to try to make it if he got off early enough, but he is at work. So it changes how I'm looking for these fish. It changes where I expect to find them. Okay. I have a lot of luck in the cold water months. I go deep. I go deep water. Not necessarily the deepest water I can find, but it's going to be pretty close. Okay. I'm going to look for some deep water that's got a big ledge leading down to it, to give them some opportunity to be nearby bait that's going to be in the current seams, but also the slack water and the eddy off to the side. And especially on a really good bank cut in, you're going to have that reverse current that comes out the back side of the cut and follows along the bank right back towards the point. A lot of times I will find fish in that reverse current that kind of digs back along the bank, heading back to the upstream side of the hole. Those are great spots for me. They make really good wintering holes. And a lot of times the bigger the bank cut in is, the more opportunity for fish to get in there and stack up. Let's see. 3 catfish, 45 to 80 pounds, Saturday, 9 a.m., say about 3 p.m. On the Tennessee River, I can't help you with that one. I can't. Here, maybe. Not on the Tennessee River. I would suggest 1-800-RENT-A-FISH. You know, if you're not feeling all that confident, 1-800-RENT-A-FISH. I think this time of year during the tournaments, I think the hotlines are open 24 hours. But that might be something to look into. But yeah, y'all have a heck of a battle going on a Saturday. Big rematch between the Tennessee River and the James. This is going to be really interesting, and going to be right here on this channel. Right here on this channel. So yeah, I cannot wait to see the rematch. We're gonna see who learned a lesson from the first time and who didn't. I think conditions are going to play a big part. This big weather system that's moving through right now is going to play a big part in everybody's fishing. So that's going to be really interesting. I like it. Big Mike, what's going on, brother? I know earlier someone was asking about a double hook rig, and if I don't have any leader line next to me, I would actually tie one just to show y'all real quick. I tell you what, y'all give me just a second. I'm going to go get some. Just hang on. Okay, that's better. I knew I had something nearby. But you know what? We got to tie one real quick for those that are interested. Now I don't normally tie a double hook rig with stuff this big. This is what I have. That way y'all can see it. But this is Andy, and y'all are reading that right. That is a 150-pound test leader line. This is really big stuff. Probably overkill for what most of y'all are gonna do. But you know what? We're going to tie a double hook rig. We're going to show y'all how it's done. Okay, so now I know some people use different size hooks. Some people don't. Me, I basically only have one size of hook at any given time. So, of course, that's what I'm going to use. But this is what we're going to do. Okay, you're going to tie your first hook on the end of your leader, just like you normally would any other leader that you're going to do. Okay, that does not change. And I'm only going to go around 6 times with the snail because this is just huge line, and this is for, demonstration purposes. Okay. All right. So you got your hook on the end just like you normally would. Now, what you're going to do with your other one, this is important to get the snail right. Hold your hook just like you normally would. Take the end of your leader and pass it through just like you always would. And just suck it up on the line to about the distance that you want your two hooks to be apart. Like right there is probably about, I'll say 10 inches right there. And just let it hang. And you're going to tie your snail just like you always do. And then run it out the front of the hook. And that's it. Simple as that. That is your double hook rig right there. That's it. And like I said, you space these two hooks as close as you want or as far as you want. But I will tell you this. If you err on the side of long on this one, because you can always hook the bait, one in the nose, one in the back. You can always hook them and have some slack in this line and have them close together. That is not going to hurt a thing. But you want to make sure if you need it, if you're running a really big chunk of bait, that you can get the hooks as far apart as what you need them. But right there, that is your simple, everyday double hook rig. And of course, your leader here is going to stick out a lot further than mine to tie your swivel or however you want to do. But that's it. That's just that. That's all there is to it. And I use this. I don't do that much during the winter, but during the summer, warm water periods, when I really just want to get ridiculous with my baits, yes, absolutely, I will use that double hook rig. Yeah, and that's exactly what I'm talking about right there. Tie your hooks far enough apart. That way you can get that stinger hook all the way to the back of whatever chunk of bait you want to put it in. Your stinger hook, I'm not going to say it's not going to do you any good, but the stinger hook is much less effective if it's only halfway down the piece of bait that you're trying to hook up. Put one in the front and put it all the way in the back. That way, if that fish gets just the very end of that piece of bait, you still got it. You still got the opportunity to put him in the boat. Yeah, and see, Jerry knows what I'm talking about here. Those stinger rigs they come in pretty handy when you're throwing a piece of bait that weighs, a couple of pounds. And that is no exaggeration. That's exactly what we throw at certain times of year. The only thing you got to watch for with a double hook rig is, remember, whatever hook the fish gets, the other one is just there flopping around. So you better be very, very careful when you're bringing that fish in the boat, trying to unhook him. Remember, you got two hooks on that leader now. Be very, very, very careful that fish don't put a hook in your hand or your arm or your ankle or who knows where, And the honeycuts are in the house. What is going on? Good to have y'all in the chat. Long-time supporters. Long-time supporters, I know, of this channel, and long-time supporters of my channel. I love it. Casey Frey, what's going on? Good to have you in chat as well. Yeah, and I think different times of the year, people have trouble hooking fish. I know for us, I don't have trouble hooking a fish during the winter when it's really cold. I got a problem getting them to commit to it to begin with. Once I can finally get them to commit to it, I'm gonna get them. And I think everybody else has kind of the same issues. Is the fish they're a little lethargic. They're not quite as enthusiastic as they are when the water is 70 degrees and they're yanking rod downs and strip and drag and everything else. So it does make a difference. But having that stinger hook on there, it helps so much in those situations where that fish wants to just grab that piece of bait, and he may want to swim off with it a bit and then take it all the way in his mouth. That stinger hook will get that fish in those situations. Another trick that I've done it a couple of times, and I've had some situations where the bite, where I knew I had confidence that I was on some decent sized fish. I'm going to say 20 plus, that I know that's what I'm into, but they just still want to not commit. They're being very finicky. If the current is light enough to do this, which a lot of times during the cold water, I've got the opportunity, and I will throw my rods out just like I normally do, let them set on bottom, and then I will disengage my reel and turn my bait clicker on. There have been some times to where just that little bit of resistance, they don't want to pull that rod down, they'll let it go. And having that bait clicker on and letting them run, and of course, I like running my rods high. I like running them in my monster rod holders. I run them in the 45-degree position. I run them nice and high for a big takedown. I lower my rod tips because it takes less pressure to engage the clicker the lower your rod is. It takes less tension on the fish's end. So that's what I do. I will disengage my reel. I'll turn my clicker on, and there's been many, many, many times that I've caught some really nice fish using that method that were kind of toying with the bait like some dinks. But it's having the confidence of the fish I marked. I knew they were quality fish. So it's like, look, I'm going to give these guys a chance. And I think that's what happens. I think they take the bait, they slowly want to swim off with it, and they're taking in that bait, trying to swallow it as they're swimming away. You know, they're not trying to inhale it right at that moment. You're giving them couple of seconds to really commit and want to take in that bait. It's times like that you've got to kind of pull. Miss Valerie, what's going on? Good to have you in the chat. Possibly I have trouble with my net man. I bet your net man says the same thing about the fisherman. I would say the same thing, that he probably has trouble with the one holding the rod. I bet it would be so much fun, not even to catch a fish, but just to sit back and watch you two go at it during a fishing trip. I would be on the boat just for that. That would be entertainment enough for me. And Brad, welcome to the chat, by the way. Brad makes a very, very good point right here. Bait size and the selection, depending on your body of water, absolutely can make or break a commitment from them. I mean, that's 100% truth. I find the cold water period is really where all those little bitty things start making a difference. You know, what leader length are you running? What type of bait are you running? The size of the bait, how are you cutting it? You know, every little thing with how you're presenting that bait. Because remember, as water temperature comes down, the fish still know the bait is there. A fish's detection zone, it's not going to shrink. No matter time of year, the fish knows your bait is there within a certain radius. But the strike zone, however, as that water temperature comes down, that area gets smaller and smaller and smaller. In certain situations, you may have a point to where that fish is not going to bite a bait unless it's a foot or two in front of its face. You know, that's close. That's really close. That's hitting them in the head with it, you know. And that's a lot of times why during the winter, John Renner, what's going on? I bet Roger's listening to this. I would bet he's at work probably listening to the show. I guarantee. But how you doing, Roger? Keep things going to slow down with the weather, roofing houses, but still working 7 days a week. Try to get some more things for their kids' tournament. Not talk to his buddy from Cabela's, but get him on board. Talk with you soon. So, Roger, I know you're listening. From John Renner. Let's see. I'm going to make sure. Two Stans, my OG broadcast brother. What's going on, Stan? Yeah, it's. I'm actually a little more active, I'll say, with my rods during the cold weather than I am when the water's warm, and I'm going to explain that. Warm weather, you know, water temperature is 60s on up. The fish are active. The fish are going to be moving around. They're going to be, you know, patrolling an area. They're going to be doing their thing. I'm pretty confident that if I'm throwing my rods out, I've got a decent spread. I'm covering the area. Those fish that are active in that area, they know my baits are there, and they're going to travel a little, and they're going to come to my baits. As long as I'm decently close enough, you know, 20 feet, 10, 20 feet, something like that. If I'm that close, they're going to come to it. I'm confident with that. And I will, for the most part, leave my baits in place as long as I'm very confident that I casted at fish. Now, during the winter, that tends to change. Because remember, that strike zone has now shrunk to a very small area. So am I getting within 10, 20 feet of a fish? I might be, but that might be way too far. They're not going to come that far to a bait. So you'll see me doing what Roger and Zach and them call nudging those baits. I'm going to go maybe every 10 minutes to my rods, and I'm just going to maybe crank one time, maybe two. Every crank for me is about 2 feet. and I'm going to pull them to me just a little, and I'm going to hop them, and I'm going to make little subtle movements. That way I'm not throwing past a fish and then way in front of a fish. I could very well have a fish sitting between two of my baits. Could very well have that going on. But my messenger is going crazy. Okay. Anyway, I could very well have baits all around fish, but because that strike zone is so small, they're not going to come to my baits. I have got to put the baits in front of their face. So you're going to see me moving my rods a little more in the cold weather than you do during the summer, just because I'm trying to put it right in front of them. Whoa. I see an emblem. I don't see a face.
Well, you can't see my face anyway. It's dark.
Come on. Well, yeah. Well, that probably helps the show out, not seeing your face. I ain't gonna lie.
Well, yeah. Look, we're already starting to pick up viewers now.
Yeah, I know, right? What's happening, Roger?
Two things. First of all, I guess I'm just having a real hard time listening to you talk about winter fishing when it's 69 degrees there at your house, and I don't know.
I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining that it's cold. I have not broken the rules yet.
That you got that. I'll give that to you. Also, I seen John's comment there, and we'll be in touch. I appreciate what you're doing, and but really, I just wanted to stop in and say thanks to everybody. Appreciate. I've had a crazy week last week, and I've got to try to get some stuff caught up. And so I appreciate Jeremy taking solo tonight. I'm listening. I'm loving it.
I knew you were listening.
But say hello to everybody that stopped in so far. And I also want to throw the plug in there that don't forget Saturday we've got the epic rematch between the James River and the Tennessee River, and that'll be hosted right here on Muskrat Adventures along with Mr. Freddie Outdoor Adventures. So we'll have the FOA and the rat in the house on Saturday morning. So set your clocks. It's going to be a good one. It's going to be fun. And yes. I gotta be honest, I couldn't put money on either one.
No, I don't think so, because it was close last time. Okay, it was close. It came down right to the end. I'm seeing pictures of really nice fish coming from both waters over the past couple of weeks. I'm not normally, me, I'm not very shy about picking a favorite. I'm not.
Right.
But I can't hardly give the advantage to anybody this time. I really can't. It's gonna be real interesting how this. I think this big weather system that's coming through, I think that's what's going to tell the story of that matchup, is how that weather system affects the different rivers.
Speaking of, I checked on your weather before I popped in here. That's how I knew what the temperature was. But you're under a tornado watch, big guy.
Oh, that's all the time.
That's all the time. Yeah, I got that. I forgot who I was talking to.
Yeah, they don't. Yeah, well, we're constantly under. Anytime it rains, they want to start throwing out tornado watches and all this stuff. And but I do. I appreciate it. I do. But just because our weather is warm, our rivers are cold. The Mississippi, I got a report from a friend of mine today. The Mississippi River is 52 degrees right now. So I'm fishing a winter pattern, albeit in a t-shirt though. It's weird, but it is what it is.
Well, see, that it's not the temperature, it's the change. So the relevancy. So for our fish, going from one temperature down to, we're at 43, 44 degrees, I think right now.
That's right. That's right.
And so your fish are experiencing the same thing. It's a difference. It might not be the extreme, but it's still the same difference in drop. So the fish are going to behave. One of the things I wanted to talk about is just how underutilized or underestimated shallow water can be, even in cold water.
Okay.
Fishing the last few weeks with Zach, Zach's put some really nice fish in the boat, and he did it again live on Sunday morning. I think we caught a 25-pounder in about 2 foot of water.
Oh, wow.
The week before, he caught a 30-some pounder in the same spot, 2 foot of water. And basically all we're doing is, I caught a 15, the same situation. I threw mine over, and I was maybe in 4 foot of water. We're just finding where the bank is completely loaded up with bait, and we're just throwing our bait in right there with it, and them fish are cruising, and they're just grabbing up meals. And our meal is a little bit easier to catch because it's sitting still.
Yeah.
Even in 43, 40, 44-degree water, we're still trying shallow water. So I guess what I really just wanted to get home is that don't ever underestimate shallow water. Regardless, us, when we get a real sunny day, we love looking at shallow water. It might warm up a degree or two, and that might be all it takes to just be loaded with fish.
Yeah.
But even when it's not sunny, even when the water's muddy, even when the water's doing crazy things, never rule out shallow water, especially if whatever you're doing isn't working.
Oh, yeah, exactly. If you're catching fish, by all means, keep doing whatever it is that you're doing. But when you're not catching fish, sometimes a crazy idea becomes a good idea. And you know what? That's how people end up catching fish. And then the light bulb goes off like, hey, why haven't I been trying this sooner? I'm not a shallow water guy, but I keep hearing y'all tell me this year after year, and I'm gonna have to give it a shot somehow. I'm gonna have to. It's just it sounds like too much fun.
Yeah. Hey, real quick, I want to give a couple shout outs real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
Right here, Rippin' Lips Fishing. That's my buddy Claude that lives honestly just a few blocks away from me. This Monday, I put the boat in the river, and I had a failure that I have never seen. So the starter on the boat, the arm that shoots up, the bendix and spins the flywheel, snapped in two.
Oh, wow.
Snapped in two. And I know that Claude there has the exact same motor that he had taken off one of his boats, and he had hooked me up with the tilt and trim already. I called him. I said, hey, is that starter on that motor any good? Now, he was in Nitro, West Virginia, helping out AJ's bait tackle do a tournament out there. They go set up, sell bait, rod and reels, needs for the community. He said, hey, go to the house, get that starter off that boat, put it on your boat, go fishing. And it took me about 10 minutes to have him swapped. And he called me not too long afterwards. He said, hey, did you find it? I said, I'm already on the water. I'm fishing.
You can say I found it.
So I just wanted to give him say a special thank you to him and show him how much I appreciate him helping me out. And then also we had a couple PBs this week.
Yes.
Yep. So Cody caught a 51-pound blue cat as on Greenwell's Live on Sunday. Greenwell, I saw he posted there that he did timestamp all the catches, or at least the highlights from Sunday. There was a lot of fish caught, honestly.
Yeah.
So be sure to go back and check that out and congratulate Cody on a new PB. And then Big Wrench also had a PB this week, and so exciting news. So I wanted to say congratulations to those guys, and like I said, a big thank you to Rippin' Lips Fishing there for helping me out when I needed it.
Yep. And then Action Jackson got himself a new junior lake record, if I remember right. 55, was it? I believe it was. Crystal corrects me if I'm wrong, but believe it was 55.
Dude, that kid he is awesome, man.
Yeah.
I love watching those guys. The time spent, the love, and the drug that is being introduced to him as the thump or the tug. I love watching that.
The tug
yeah,
is the drug. If nothing else, if you introduce your child to fishing, really ingrain that habit, I promise you they will never be able to afford any of the bad habits.
yeah, that
Never
is
be able to afford them. I promise you that.
truer words never spoken. Yeah, right there says he caught that PB in 4 foot of water.
On chicken. That was
Chicken.
a chicken. That was a chicken fish.
So
It was, but that kind of goes to what we were talking about is there are a lot of really nice fish being caught. I mean, I'm looking at a very, very good friend of mine fishes the Mississippi River just above me, and they killed the big fish this between today and yesterday ahead of this storm coming in.
yeah,
Really, really nice fish they caught out of the Mississippi. I mean, everybody's catching nice fish, and I'm stuck at work.
yeah.
But I know how you feel.
I love winter fishing, man.
Yeah.
One, most people are off the water. You get pleasure boaters are gone. You
Yep.
get, your dedicated or hardcore fishermen that have the same passion as you. So now you're out on the water sharing. You got something in common with just about everyone you see
Yeah.
now. No matter what
Yep.
species they're after, if they're out there chasing it in these conditions, they've got the drug. They're addicted.
Oh yeah. Yeah, exactly. The only thing I have to deal with every now and then is a couple of they don't duck hunt in the river, but they use the river to get to their hunting spots. That's about the only boat traffic I have to deal with, other than commercial traffic. That's a whole different thing.
Right. Donovan, that's a fantastic accomplishment there. And
Yep. Absolutely.
I see 2 stands here, man. The catfish community has, I don't know how else to say, but it has changed lives for many of us, myself included, in such a good way that you can say thank you a million times, but until you
yeah.
really get to know somebody and realize just how where they were at and where they are now in their life, YouTube has done a lot for a lot of people.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It has. It has. You see, those of us that are on all the Facebook groups and just keep up people in chat. There's so many people you see in chat that it's the same message that, hey, I'm 10 years sober, because I got into fishing, or I'm, all these milestones that these people hit, and they always come back to, hey, it's fishing that put me back on that right path. It's awesome. It
Right.
really is. I mean, look, Brian with Big Wrench here says fishing is, and we've discussed this, Brian and I, before, but that's his therapy for dealing with PTSD, which affects so many people.
Yeah,
it's great.
Yeah, I have my own list of disorders. You guys can guess them.
Oh yeah.
But fishing is my drug. I get to unplug. I can put the whole world on pause for a minute and go do what soothes my soul and makes me happy again, and then go back to life.
Yep. I was having a conversation with a good friend of mine about an hour before the show started. He actually come to my house to bring me a bunch of lead that I'm buying from him. And we just kind of got to talking, and he's one of the few old school cat fishermen in this area. He and his father-in-law doing it a very, very long time. I learned a lot from them on that river. And, just having a conversation with him about just my journey over the past, say, 3 years, really dialing into trophy catfishing and how far we've come in that amount of time. It's overwhelming when I think about it. When I think about all the friends, lifelong friends that I have made in this community, some and most I have never shaken their hands before. And, this guy right here, he's one of them, lifelong friend, never shook his hand before, but couldn't ask for better friends. And now it was very unexpected, but now that I'm involved in it, I couldn't imagine things any other way, that definitely changed my life for the better.
Yeah, 100%, man. So many. Now I've been very fortunate. I know that it's in your situation where you live at really puts you're so far away from everybody. But where I'm at, I've had the luxury of being able to meet and actually shake hands and fish with a lot of people, even here in chat. And I plan to do it even more as time goes on. But you're right. There's so many people that are in my life now because of YouTube. Zach and Skip are like two brothers that I never had before. And I mean, they are that close to me, and I would have never met them if it weren't for the catfish community ever. Our paths would have never crossed just because our circles we don't have the same circle, but we're linked together now.
Yeah, exactly. When I had the opportunity a while back to actually meet Danny and Richard in person, it's an opportunity that I would never really honestly thought I would get, but it just happened to work out that way. And it was, for me, it was overwhelming to finally shake hands with guys who I talked to for so long and called friends. To actually meet them in person, it's like I didn't even know what to do when it happened. It was completely just a mind-blowing thing. Yeah, but it was amazing though.
The cool thing is after we've spent this much time talking on camera, in chats and everywhere else, as much as we've seen, each other in the community, when you finally get to shake a hand and hug a neck, as James would say, it's like you already know each other. There's no the weird, awkward, craziness.
That's right.
You feel like you've known each other forever because you kind of do.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, it's okay. You feel like you know each other so well. You meet for the first time, but you end up talking like you're old friends, like nothing ever. You'd never know that you're actually meeting for the first time. You never know that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And a lot of times, that's what drives some of us to do this stuff. To be honest, I mean, look, there's most of the people that I know in this chat box here. None of us are making a living doing YouTube, okay? And there's probably a big number of us that won't ever make a living off of YouTube. I guarantee you, I never will. I promise you that.
I'm right there with you.
A lot of times we're doing this. You can almost say for each other, for the people in chat, to have that regular audience that always comes back. It's amazing. Y'all have no idea what that does for us as creators to see those familiar faces in chat or in video comments on live streams. It's such a good feeling to have those same people over and over come in. It's an awesome experience.
Yeah, that's a fantastic point to make. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and when you finally get to these, gatherings or meet and greets or cat cons or whatever, it's like a family reunion.
Yeah, exactly.
And a dysfunctional family at times. We're human. We don't have to agree on everything. I mean, I think the world would be a lot better if everybody could just understand. You don't have to agree on everything.
Nope. We don't always agree. We don't always get along. But you know what? That's how it is. But we every one of us respects everyone else. The respect is everything. I see it more in our community than I do anywhere else. It's just that common respect that goes between us all. That's what matters.
Yeah. I'm sitting there looking at chat and I was like, there's so many people. I don't want to start naming off names because if I miss a name or I don't mention somebody, I don't want anybody to be offended. But there's so many names just right here in the chat screen that I could see sitting still that I value their opinions. I value their support and all that stuff. I'm very blessed and feel lucky to have all these people that share the same passions that we do.
Yep, absolutely. And what's good is every one of us has learned from everybody else. We all do things a little different, but we're different enough to where we can all learn from each other. I know I've gotten some awesome ideas that has changed how I fish from so many people in chat or watching their videos, watching their lives. It changes, and you listen to what everybody's doing, and it'll make you better. It really will. You take what you can use from everyone else, it will make you better. There is no doubt about it. It made me better. I know that. You know,
Yeah,
I don't know how many times I have told other people about the. I mean, we were talking about it a little while ago about the nudging of the baits, about using
yeah,
a swing rod. You know, that's all stuff that I had never heard of before coming here. Well, now that is a integral part of what I do now is because of that.
yeah. You know, and I didn't create any of that stuff. It's stuff I picked up along the way, but we're so
Exactly.
good at sharing that
Yep.
information, you know,
Yep.
that that's what makes it so valuable. I learn all the time. I love learning. You know,
Mm-hmm.
there's channels out there that you learn from, and there's channels out there that entertain,
Yep.
and then there's channels that are fantastic at both. And
Yeah.
you know, there's something for everybody.
Oh yeah. Hey, look, there's an audience for everyone. I don't know how many times I've said that to, especially with beginning YouTubers. Be yourself. You will, if you just do your thing, you do what you're good at, you do what you like to do the way you want to do it, no matter what anybody else tells you. There's an audience out there for you. You just got to go find it. That's all.
Yep. Yep. So, well, listen, I got to get back at it. I just wanted to pop in.
Absolutely. Well, it's your show, so yeah, you're always invited.
It's our show. It's always been it's our show, brother.
He hates
it's
when
our
I say
show.
that. I say it anyway.
Yeah.
I guess you're invited.
Thanks, buddy. I appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right, I'm going to hop off here and get back at it. You guys, like I said, love you all. Appreciate your support.
Yep.
And we'll see you guys Saturday morning right back here for the brawl for it all. I don't know if I should say brawl. We'll leave brawls out of it.
I like it.
Since how Freddie's going to be there.
I'll allow it.
So, all right, guys. I'll catch up with you all later. I'll still be listening.
Okay, that'll work, brother. Take it easy.
See you. I'm going to not hit end. How about I just hit?
Okay. Well, I got him out the stream. I think I can. Can I kick him out from here? No, he'll have to do that. Yeah, please. Yeah, please don't hit end broadcast. Yeah, as long as you don't do that, we're cool. Brian B. 1999. That's what I'm talking about. I appreciate it, Brian B. I know Roger appreciates it. But thank you. Thank you. It goes a long way to helping us do this week after week after week. And so y'all can sit here and watch us talk about all kinds of interesting stuff. But Roger is correct. Wintertime. Oh, I know that. Hey, Chad, I know. I'm so proud of him not ending the stream as he left. I'm telling you, I taught him well. Look, wintertime means different things for me than it does for a lot of people, actually. My water temperatures rarely will get below 40 degrees. 39, 40, that's about the coldest the water gets around here. And I think the only reason it gets that cold is I've got the Mississippi River just pumping cold water straight down the pipe. You know, the river water will not warm very much between, let's say, I'm going to say northern Missouri and me, which is hundreds and hundreds of miles. I'm going to guess and say 800 miles. It might be further than that. It might warm up 4 degrees, maybe, by the time it gets down here. It's I still have cold water, but not necessarily the cold weather go with it. It creates some very, very interesting situations for me at different times of year. Freddie, I'm pretty sure I said hi to you, but by God, I'm gonna say hi to you again, brother. I cannot miss the opportunity to shout you out. I just can't. And I saw something else. Ooh, Ripping Lips Fishing. If I can find the banner, hopefully I didn't delete. Okay, there it is. Okay. If you will email me at that email right there with an address, I will make sure you get some of my stickers. Because I absolutely do not. I refuse to charge people for my stickers. If you want a set of stickers, you email me, you give me a little time, and I will get you some stickers. Because unfortunately, I work in the middle of nowhere, and a post office is very hard to get to. So that's something I always struggle with. Josh, the weekend angler, Mr. DIY himself. What's going on, brother? Good to have you in the show. But yeah, I mean, like I said, winter means art. What's going on, brother? Winter means different things to everybody. Like I said, I have some strange situations happening because I have multiple rivers that dump into the same location. So I get a little bit of a water temperature variance depending on exactly where I go. I'll be honest. Let's see. Sasquatch custom lures. This is an interesting question because I know absolutely nothing about it. I'll be honest with you. What do you do for blues when the lake is iced over? I'm not going to lie to you. I have never experienced that situation. Hopefully I never do. It doesn't get that cold down here. I've never seen hardly anything ice over down here. I'll be honest. But I would bet. Now, see, if Roger were here, he may be able to shed some light on that. Maybe. But I guarantee there's some people in chat that could actually answer that question. I promise you. But there are some people up as you go north that do hit that situation. But as far as me, you got me on that one. That's a situation I promise you I'll probably never be in. I'm not going to say it doesn't happen. I've never heard of someone ice fishing through the ice for blues. Not going to say it doesn't happen. I've just never heard of it. But hey, you never know. You might be the first one. You never know. Yeah. Look, I have made this joke so many times that the closest thing I get to ice fishing is when I'm digging in the bottom of my cooler for the last frosty beverage. About the closest I'll ever get to ice fishing. I can promise you that. That is not, no. I ain't getting out on no ice. It's not happening. Crappie Day. Appreciate the $10, man. Really do. It goes a long, long way to help out the channel. Really appreciate it. Art, I don't see why not. I mean, there's guys catching blues in, low 30-degree water temperatures. I mean, there's people, and look, they're standing right here. Caught a 40 plus a couple of years ago through the ice. There you go. It happens. It happens. I don't see why it wouldn't. And look, they go to the really deep holes. I would love to see video on that. I'd love to see video of somebody pulling a 40-pound blue through a hole in the ice. That would be awesome to sit down and watch from my nice warm recliner. And yes, Mike Greenwell, I do own a heater. Thank you very much. Yes, I'm not running it right now and haven't run it for quite a while, but yes, I do own a heater. They always got to get picked on because I'm one of the most southern catfish anglers in the community. Not the most southern one, but pretty close. There's not too many guys that are below me. Yes, I saw that comment, Mike. I saw it. Yes, Keokuk, Iowa. The locking dam at Keokuk that's it. That's the line where the blues stop. For whatever reason, they will not go through the dam at Keokuk. Don't ask me why. Epic could maybe answer a question like that, but that's where we're at. Let's see. It has happened. Now, I can't tell you the agency, but I know I've heard of this happening before. That's why there's some agencies that were very surprised as to how far these blues actually travel, that they will travel hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of miles over the course of a year. You know, it's some. They'll go through like a migration, you can almost say. But yeah, it does. They do travel a lot, and I know there's some agencies that have done that, and that's how they know that. Yeah, you're a little below me, Ron, but not very much. You're about an hour and a half below me. It ain't all that much. And I go south when I fish, so I'm even closer to you when that happens. I see you say, yeah, Pig Patrol put a 50+ pound flathead through the ice. That's wow. Yeah, to me, that's a one of a kind catch, because you would think that fish would have been kind of dormant at that point in those temperatures. But hey, he must have cut a hole right over his head and hit him with it. But it happens. It does happen. Let's see. Like someone puts trackers on blues, and they migrate 35 miles up the Red River to spawn. Yeah. It's amazing that, 35 miles, you would think that's a long way for a fish, but not really. Apparently not. Apparently not. But I tell you what, if y'all want to ask any more questions, I'm probably going to shut it down here in a few minutes. We're not going to make this a long-winded show. We had one of those last week. We had some great guests last week. It was awesome. Very happy to have JR Fishing on the show, and I got a feeling we'll be seeing much more of them on YouTube here whenever they get everything done that they want to do. But it was awesome having them on the show, really was. And I hope y'all enjoyed having them on the show. Whoa. What in the world did I just do? Okay, never mind. Wow. Well, I hit a button and everything disappeared. Lord have mercy. Don't do that one again. Let me tell you. But a little shameless plug before I end the show. I just got these in the mail, guys. Triple City Anglers. I got some of the circle hooks. I love using them. That's the hooks I tie my rig with tonight that y'all saw. Creole 10. You'll get y'all 10% off if y'all want some. But these are the 10-aughts right here that I've got. I wish I had something to compare the size to. But probably about a quarter. I'll say a quarter-sized gap in between the point and the shank. Good, nice, straight shank circle hook, just the way I like them. Mike, probably not this year. No. I got some stuff with work going on that I just can't leave for that long. That's just, I don't know. If something changes, hey, if something changes, maybe. But as of right now, I'm probably going to say no, that it's just not going to happen. Yep, but straight shank hooks. I love them. I find they improve my hookup ratio, when they're snailed. I've done both. I've caught fish on the octopus style hooks and the straights. I've caught them on both. But I don't know, especially I find when they're being a little picky, that straight shank helps it out. It really does. It really does. Oh, man, Mike, that's I know. Yep. One day, Mike, if I can get all this work stuff if I can end this big project that we're doing and kind of let everything settle down, there's a lot of stuff I'm going to be doing. Trust me, a lot of stuff. But all right, guys. Well, I believe we are going to end it for tonight. We've already been here for an hour. We had some good discussion. Talked about a lot of stuff. If there's any more questions, look, y'all know where to find me, and we will be back here next Tuesday night. But before that, remember Saturday morning, right here on this channel, the rematch of the century between the Tennessee River and the James. Guys, it is going to be on. It's going to be great. I have a feeling it's going to be another close one. I really do. So, guys, I appreciate y'all. God bless everybody. And bon pêcher. I'll catch y'all out there.